What was the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act?
In 1990, the U.S. government set up a program called the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. I'm going to refer to it as RECA for short. It was a program to compensate uranium miners that mined uranium before 1971 and to compensate downwinders that lived in certain counties of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona that were considered downwind of the Nevada test site. The program paid out $50,000 in one-time payment of reparations to people who met the qualifications. And the qualifications were around the dates that people lived in those counties, along with only compensating for 19 radiogenic cancers. And so obviously, when they established RECA, it didn't go far enough and it was very arbitrary. And when I say it didn't go far enough, I primarily refer to the fact that it did not include anybody in the state of New Mexico who were the first people exposed to radiation any place in the world as a result of living adjacent to an atomic bomb site.
RECA recently expired. Who is that affecting and why?
RECA expired in June of this year after we had a vote of 69 to 30 in the U.S. Senate. We had a huge bipartisan effort to expand RECA to include the people in New Mexico for the first time, along with those people who worked in the uranium mining industry after 1971. And it also was going to expand coverage for people who live in downwind states like Idaho, Montana, Colorado, and Guam who've never been included, and then the entire state of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. It was also going to add zip codes in places like St. Louis, places in Kentucky, Tennessee, Alaska, where people lived adjacent to facilities where they enriched uranium and dumped nuclear waste. So the U.S. Senate passed the bill by a vote of 69 to 30. President Biden issued a statement of support on that exact same day, saying that he would absolutely sign the bill and make sure that it was adequately funded. But the House of Representatives, Speaker Johnson, has refused to allow the bill to come up for a vote, even though we're told we have the vote in the House. And who it has affected is everybody who has lived in the states that I've mentioned, who have never been compensated or taken care of, along with uranium miners that mined after 1971. So there's a whole swath of the American West, along with specific other zip codes, where people have literally been dying for, in the case of New Mexico, 79 years without assistance or acknowledgement.
What kind of cancers specifically are caused by radiation exposure?
Well, if you could look at it this way, there's three methods of being exposed to radiation: inhalation, ingestion, and absorption through your skin. The people of New Mexico would have been exposed to all three of those methods in 1945 and in the years afterwards, because as the ash fell from the sky, we would have been inhaling it, we would have been absorbing it through our skin, and we would have been ingesting it through our water supply and our food sources. And that would have gone on for a number of years because of the windstorms that we receive here and the resuspension of particulate matter. So it's cancers associated with those systems, basically. Inhalation, so it's your lungs, it can be your throat, it can be any of the thing, your sinuses, anything associated with inhalation. Absorption through your skin, so blood cancers, skin cancers, those kinds of cancers. And then ingestion, anything to do with your gastrointestinal tract. And just as a matter of reference, Anthony, I had a cousin who lives in Tularosa who was diagnosed with brain cancer when we were in our 20s. For 40 years, he has suffered, and he passed away over the weekend. And we have been losing people all of this time. I'm a cancer survivor. I had thyroid cancer. Thyroid cancer is caused by radiation exposure. And this is not, a single generation phenomenon. We now have up to 5 generations in many families of cancers because there's also a genetic component to this. So we bear the genes for the radiation exposure that took place after the bomb in 1945 and during the time that people mined uranium.
What does the future look like as far as the Tularosa Downwinders? What are your goals now? Are you going to try to get RECA reestablished or a new version of it? Or what is the mission now?
Well, we will never give up. I can tell you this much. When you bury as many loved ones as we have, you realize you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. We will never give up. As a matter of fact, on Friday of last week, I had a chance to have a 20-minute conversation with leader Hakeem Jeffries from the U.S. House of Representatives. We told him our histories. We talked to him about this horrible invasion of our lands and our lives. He got it immediately, and he told me, I am with you until we get this done. And so we will never give up. We will continue this fight. There will come a day when Congress has no choice but to reckon with the irreparable harm done to us as our government went about developing and testing nuclear devices in the American West.
All right, Tina, before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share with people hearing your voice?
I would absolutely invite everyone to go to our website, which is www.trinitydownwinders.com. trinitydownwinders.com. And above and beyond that, right now, Speaker Johnson, who holds this bill up, he needs to be contacted by as many people as possible. And I tell folks, don't call him once, call him every day, and make sure he understands that this is of great importance to you and your family. And I can give you the phone number. It's really easy. It's 202-225-4000. 202-225-4000. He represents all of us as Speaker of the House, and he needs to understand that this is a matter of justice and that we can wait no longer because people die all the time waiting.
Very sorry to hear about the loss of your cousin over the weekend, Tina, but I do thank you for your time. This is an important message to get out, and I'm glad I could spend a few minutes with you so we can share this.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Anthony, because we need to make sure that as many people as possible become engaged in this fight with us, and we appreciate you keeping this out in front of the public.